if you're not there, you're not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not there, how can you love yourself? Like, how can you be proud of yourself if you don't build a career?
Reach for growth, reach for more. Performance, marketing, hardcore. Tune in, listen, hear the lore. Reach for growth.
Hello and welcome to a new episode of Reach for Growth. I'm your host, Gamal. Lucie, nice to have you here.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Lucie, you have been a CFO here in Dubai, and then you decided to leave it all behind. What's the story here?
I started my career in finance, and when I was 26, I became CFO. So it was a pretty early career. I always wanted to have a great career, to climb the ladder, to be proud of myself, and mostly make also my parents happy. And so I continued my career in different countries, from France, Ireland, and ended up in Dubai. And once I was in Dubai, and even before the years before, for a reason that I couldn't point out, I couldn't find some deep happiness and deep joy outside my job. So I was really excited to do my projects, to work on different things, to travel the world, and to always push my limits in my career. But when I was alone or when the schedule was a bit less busy, I realized that something was missing and that, I couldn't figure out what it was. At the time, I didn't really pay attention to it because, again, I wanted to perform. But when I came to Dubai, I worked in a pharmaceutical company and they decided to reorganize. So they offered me another position, which I refused, and I resigned from that company. And so after resigning from that company, that was really the starting point of another journey for me, because all of a sudden, I wasn't a CFO anymore. All of a sudden, I didn't have any busy schedule anymore. And I needed to sit down with myself and enjoy the calm time. And that, I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
But also, this is really where I started to understand how in pain I was. And I couldn't understand why, despite the fact that I had a good money, I had a good title. I was 29 at the time, so it was a great career for me. But I couldn't feel joy. I couldn't feel deep fulfillment. I keep trying to find another job, which I did. And 3 months after I started this other job, I think it was too late for me. I already noticed that I was really unhappy. And I decided to quit that job and to figure out what was going on in my mind, figuring out why I cannot find that joy and fulfillment that I'm looking for, despite the title that I had. And I was turning 30 years old, almost turning 30 years old. And I asked myself, is it really the life that I want to live? Is it really the choice and the impact that I want to live in that world? And is it the story that I want to say to my children? And once I answered and I knew that it wasn't that, I decided to start my own journey, work on myself, did a lot of personal development research, and ended up getting my certification in coaching to coach myself first, not to become a coach. But after 1 hour of coaching training, I realized that my whole career, and the reason why I was a CFO at the age of 26 was because I was really good with people, but also had the curiosity to bring people along and to make sure that they were happy in the process of what I was doing in finance. So yes, I love Excel at the time, and I was good at that and figures and numbers, but mostly I was also good with people. And so from that and from that realization, I decided to build my coaching business. So I didn't quit my job to become a coach, but I did quit my job to find myself, and I find myself being a coach now.
Yeah, that's super powerful. Like you quit your job to find yourself.
Yeah.
I like that. Let me take you back to, you said like first time you become CFO when you was 26 years old. Like this is super impressive, because what I know about finance as an industry, it's quite competitive. It's male dominant. It's very hard to step higher, especially to reach the CFO position. And my question to you, like, what really took you to reach there?
So I was lucky a bit in the sense that I was in a family company, family owned
Yeah.
company, pharmaceutical company in France, and they have different subsidiary all over the world. Okay. When I was a finance controller in France, I always had this interest in business. So I was building a lot of business model for a lot of countries in the world, and I think they saw that part. So that is why they asked me and they promoted me to become the CFO of this new subsidiary that was in Ireland. So what it took me in that sense was to jump into something that I have never done, because I was never the head of finance of anything. I had to learn the taxes and everything. I really literally had to learn everything. So I was really lucky that they selected me. But also, I think when you want to reach that type of position, you have to show that you have the ability to take the risk, that you are curious about different topics, because CFO is not only about numbers only anymore. For me, it's more about the story and the strategy of the company. So you need to have this curiosity around business in general, and how can finance drive the business, and what type of data and information you can bring to really help the business. So I think what it took at that time was that curiosity, showing that ambition, that I'm curious about different other things. And yes, and I guess then I was lucky. I'll be very honest, I never had any issue dealing with men. And maybe because of that ability that I was talking before, around empathy and emotional intelligence, I had, for me, it was really clear if someone in front of me needed to be listened to, or if someone in front of me needed to be pushed, or if someone had a big ego and I needed to, step back. And that ability is key if you want to enter in such a high position as a woman or not as a woman, is to understand the person that you have in front of you and acting accordingly, so you can communicate in a way that they appreciate, but that they can also see your value through this communication.
Yeah, makes sense. And I guess there is a quote that says, luck is when opportunity meet preparation. And I guess in your part, yeah, you said the lucky part, and you said the opportunity, and you said your own skills. But I guess also there is a more side into it when it comes to the amount of effort that you have to do once you got the position.
Of course. And the transition wasn't that easy, because at the time I was building my own house. I had a boyfriend. I had a very settled life, and I just thought that opportunity will not come again. I have the opportunity to have a CFO position and to travel. So I left behind my life that I have built by choice, obviously, but I still did that. And yes, I've learned everything. First of all, I needed to understand the Irish language, which was difficult. I know I have an accent, but also I really struggled at the beginning with the English. But then after, yes, the whole situation, it's long hours. But when you're curious about something, and when you're passionate, and when you really like achieving and building something from scratch, because we literally almost build it from scratch, that was super interesting. Really, I never felt like working so hard.
Yeah, it is really interesting. And I guess one of the things why having a fulfilling career is quite challenging, because there is part inside, I guess, majority of professionals, that what is the next big thing? What is the next big project that I need to work hard on? And this idea of having an impact, and you can attach your impact to actually the big project or the new position or the next promotion and all of that. But don't you think that there is maybe an issue with that can lead to unhealthy career progress?
Yes, definitely. If you're always looking for the next thing to make you happy, or if you think that once you will have reached something, you will find peace, for example, you can go ahead like this for years. It works for people, but at some point you will look for something else. You will be tired, you will be exhausted, and you will always try to look from some kind of validation to yourself. I'm not even talking to others. And I think that's where I was also at that time. It's what was I trying to prove, and why did I really wanted to have that career? And I think that's the question we should ask ourselves. Why does that matter so much to me? I've read something that I found very interesting, which is every big goal that you have is the search of an emotion. So what emotion are you looking for when you want to be a CEO, when you want to be a CFO? What is the emotion that you're looking for? And once you have that emotion, which can be feel respected, or I want to feel at peace, I want to feel happy, how can you find that outside achievement? What happened most of the time, as you said, when you keep doing that for your whole career, so as you might be tired. But also it's in terms of performance, if we look at it in terms of performance and potential, you're really damaging yourself, because if you put all of your identity and your happiness into the next achievement, you put it in the hand of something external, right? And sometimes things don't go the way we want to go. I don't know, something happened at work, or the company doesn't go as well, or you're not getting promoted and it's not in your hands. And so when that happened, it hit you very, very hard, because you put all your identity into that next thing. And all of a sudden you can't control, something external happened, and that hits you very hard. And the recovery from that takes much longer than if you don't have all your identity and your happiness put in that. Still, you can be driven and ambitious, but if you don't have all of your identity based on this, the recovery will be faster. So in terms of performance, when we look at it in terms of performance, we see that not only you damage your potential, you damage your inspiration, but also it takes so much more time to recover from a situation like this.
Yeah, so in a way, it's not practical
No.
to go all in one dimension, always on, all about career, all about business.
Everyone is different. Some people thrive into going for their career and be ambitious. I think I really want to clarify that it's good to be ambitious. And I think you're like this too. You're very ambitious. You're very driven. Having different goals and an excellent goal and ambitious goals really drives you. And that is good. But it has to come from passion, excitement, curiosity, not from I need to prove to myself, I want to be loved by people, I need to show my family that I'm worth it, or I need to give myself more love, for example. It's really, where does your energy come from, and the reason why you're putting those goals. So for me, there's no perfect balance between full-time on ambitious goals and personal life. It's not really the balance. It's mostly about the reason why you're doing this and the energy that you put in it.
It's not about the balance. For me, honestly, personally, I don't believe in any kind of balance. And I guess more there are two opposite forces that need to coexist.
Yeah.
If ambition is there and it's the dominant, it's fine. But should be something else that can make it a little bit less harsh, or make it a little bit lighter. What's this second force for you?
For me, it's finding another source of happiness than personal achievement. Most of the time, and I understand it very much, because I'm very driven by professional achievements. It's exciting, and it's easy to take control of it. So that's drive that can be very driving. But I think your source of happiness should not only be that. It should be something outside. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's reading a book at night because it makes you feel good, that's fine. If it's being an artist and singing in front of people, that's fine too. And it doesn't have to be something crazy, but it has to be something. There has to be something that makes you happy outside your work. Because even if we take it to the extreme, when you're done with your work, you're 65 years old, then what are you going to do when you're retired? If there is nothing that excites you outside your career. So for me, that's really finding another source of happiness, and no matter what it is.
Yeah, totally. And while you were talking about it, actually, Winston Churchill came to my mind. So Winston Churchill was leading Britain when it comes to the Second World War. He was painting. He was doing a lot of things with his time outside of work, despite having the most stressful job back in his time. And at the end of the day, we can see he performed really well when it comes to winning the war and all of that. So yeah, totally.
So that's a good example. Yeah. And it's, I don't know why I don't actually know where does that come from, but I don't know why we have this idea that if you want to achieve something big, if you want to be ambitious, it has to be hard. It has to be with a lot of pain, Like, I don't know where does that come from, but I am 100% sure that yes, it's going to be hard, but it doesn't have to be hard every single day. It doesn't have to be this pain where you're lonely, you can't connect with people, you don't even take some time off, you're exhausted. It doesn't have to be that way. You can work very hard, but again, it's which energy is it? Is it an energy coming from, I need to do it, I need to prove myself something? Or is it an energy where like, you know what, I have this goal, it's amazing, I'm super lucky to be able to go there, let me work on it and see how it goes. And that doesn't remove anything in terms of performance, quite the opposite. It actually elevates someone and bring the more potential in someone when the person is energized, is passionate, is happy, is smiling. That's a completely different vibe.
Can you give me an insight about the energy and where it comes from based on the majority of the people that you have coached?
Sure. So this voice that we were talking about, we call it the high achiever saboteur. So this is the voice telling you in your head, I'm going to be happy when I will be a CEO, when I will reach that. I will be at peace when I will reach that and that. And so that is the voice and the thing that most of the people have in their mind, most of the ambitious individuals have in their voice. And your question was about what is the energy, how to shift the energy. Is that correct?
No, I guess maybe you have an insight about there is one dominant energy source that is, you can see it multiple times across all the people that you coached, for example.
Yes. So I don't really know if it's an energy in that case. I hope it will answer your question. If not, let me know. But what I've noticed is mostly understanding why we want to achieve so much. And that will release a sort of peace in your mind. That will be your energy coming in. So, for example, people would say, it's funny because I'm super happy to go through that to have that goal now, and I feel like I'm enjoying the journeys. You see, this type of talk, once you have the high achiever in your mind, you never said that. You never say, I'm enjoying the journey. You're like, no way, I have to work so hard to get there.
Yeah.
I'm not enjoying the journey.
You're never satisfied.
You're never satisfied, right? So what happened when you start understanding what I'm telling you, this voice, and how to manage this voice, your full energy, you will find more peace, let's say, because you will be less stress and pressure around that voice because you can control it. So the most thing that I think can create that energy, because then it's very different from everyone, right? Some people, when they will feel a bit more happier, they're going to go and play music, and that will be their energy then. Some other people, they will spend more time with their family, and that will be their energy. But what I've noticed is most of the time, people who have that little voice inside them, what they are looking is for more connection. And when I say connection, I mean love. Love to themselves, but also love to other people. And it's really funny to see that, because most of the people that are ambitious and that suffer from that high achiever syndrome, they are craving connection with people, but they can't seem to connect. That is really preventing them from everything. Because every time they will want to connect with someone, the voice will say, no, look, this guy, he doesn't have a good career. Don't talk to him. You're not learning anything. You need to be there to be happy, remember? So you can't do that. Look, you're not going to fall in love and have a relationship because you're going to damage your time. You're going to lose time. And remember, you need to be there to be happy. So, and at the same time, the voice is telling the guy or the woman, if you're not there, you're not worth it. If you're not there, how can you love yourself? Like, how can you be proud of yourself if you don't build a career? So you see, it can go very far, and that's why this is a pain that I think should be addressed, and that's also the reason why I've built my business around that. It's very painful, but once you understand what's going on there, you can manage better this energy, this core energy, to then have ambitious goals. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it answers the question, and I've learned a lot from this part. And okay, let me summarize what I've learned so far.
Yeah, sure.
Energy is the deep down reason why we want to reach our goals.
Yes.
And it can be, and I guess the most important thing is to know how to reach to this realization or this understanding of this is my source of energy. Yeah. Like, for example, I want to reach the position X. Why? Because I want to be, or maybe I want to reach another higher position. Okay, fine. Why? Or after that, what will happen? so I guess you need to dig deeper inside yourself to reach to why you're doing all what you're doing. What's the end? What will happen? How, as you said, how do you feel at the end?
Yeah. What is the emotion?
And as you said, majority or it's quite common that most of the people right now are quite lonely, and they just want to connect with other people. They're working hard because they want to be respected. They're working hard because they want to be loved.
Yeah.
They're working hard because they want to be loved. So yeah, it's quite deep, honestly. It's like we're discussing it like this, but like when you think about it, like, and I guess you said something in the introduction part was super powerful. Like when you said that what you are going to tell your daughter or your son about your career, and then you decided you don't want to continue as a CFO.
Yes. I don't know if it's because I'm scared of dying. Some people say that. But I have a tendency to imagine myself when I'm 80, 90 years old and look at my life. I don't want to be proud in a way like everyone look at me, but I want to live my life. Mm-hmm. And for me, adventure is part of what I love, what makes me happy. Discovering new things. I need to be in an environment where I learn and I grow all the time. That's just the way I am. But I didn't want to, I didn't think at the time that would inspire my children. And I imagine my children being in the same situation, and I wouldn't have liked to see them like this because I was deeply unhappy. And I think, again, as much as we want to be loved in that situation, we don't talk. Mm-hmm. We don't talk because if I say that I'm unhappy, first of all, people might not relate so much because I have a great job title and money. But also, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to be vulnerable and to explain my feelings. And so when I looked at that and I made the balance between the money, the title, I thought, I am sure that there is a way that I can be happy, that I can find enjoyment, at least, because happiness, it's a big word, but I can find some type of enjoyment, feel some emotion, and make money. Mm-hmm. So let's figure out how we can do that. And that's really what drove me at the time, yeah.
Yeah, I guess this is very strong because when you think about it, that it was actually one of the questions that I guess everyone who's listening have it in their mind. Maybe they're afraid to ask it, which is, can I really be successful in my career, make money, have an impact, and be happy?
Yes.
Without opening my own business, like working still on a company and all of that?
Yes, 100%. And I want to, and I say that I know some people think it's too cheesy, it's not impossible, but it's not possible, sorry. But there is a way to get there, and the way is working on yourself, understanding your mindset. And that's why Changing Mind, the company that I've built, I've been specifically targeting those topics because I don't think we talk enough about people who have ambitious goals. And we just assume that they have ambition, they have money, that's it. It's okay. You know this sentence or this quote: "It's better to cry in a Ferrari than in a Nissan." Yeah. That's not true because and maybe I'm a bit biased because I've been there. It means that you might have sacrificed 20 years of your life to something that you are realizing right now that means nothing to you. That pain. It's so hard. And so, yes, it is possible to make money and find some happiness. You're not happy every day. Sometimes it's hard. It's hard work. You still need the same skills, okay, than what you are using now. But you just need to find another source of happiness and understand your mind so you can manage this voice constantly coming to you and telling you you're not good enough. And because you're not good enough, you need to get there. Because if you're not there, no one will love you. What do you have to offer? That's literally the voice, how it talks to us, So once you learn to manage that voice, and this is a process that has been taught in mindset, and it's really a mindset work, you'll be surprised what you can find. Because all of a sudden, you'll find back your motivation, your inspiration. When you will go to work, even if someone talks bad to you or if your boss is not happy with you, you will approach it very differently. And so that will make sure that you find some fulfillment and some happiness while having a corporate life, which can be very rich. Not everyone is made for entrepreneurship. Some people really struggle in entrepreneurship. So for me, the question is never around, am I happier in corporate or entrepreneurship? No, it's like, why are you an entrepreneur? And why do you want to stay in a corporate?
Perfect. Okay, so now let's say I'm listening to this right now,
Yeah.
and I want to have a roadmap with actions from
Yeah.
you, Lucy. What should I do in order, to have this shift so I can become happier, still working and making money and having more impact?
Yeah. So for me, it starts with two things. The first thing is being honest with yourself and saying, you know what? I've built my career. I've been in finance for years or in the IT world for years, and I'm not happy. So there is something that I might do that is not correct. And admitting this, which I think takes a lot of courage because sometimes we are talking 20 years down the road after to build that career. But really admitting that, yeah, I have all of that, but that's not the way I want to go. And that is big. That is already a huge shift in your mindset when you really realize not only, oh, I'm not happy, I need to find solution. It's like, I don't know how to do that. But what I know is that that situation is not suitable for me. And I don't like it anymore and I want to change. So that is the first step. The second step, which I recommend to anyone, it's very easy to do, but I promise you it's going to change your life, is to do what I call night audits. Okay. What we tend to do is that we have our day, we come back, we're tired, we go on social media, we watch TV, we take care of the kid, we sleep, and we do that again and again. So in between, we complain, oh, this guy was an asshole, oh, this happened, oh, I didn't like that. And we keep living like this. So what I recommend you is to start introspecting, and asking yourself the right question. How can I do that? What question should I ask myself? What do I do if I don't have the answer? Very easy. You do a night audit. So before you go to bed, once you're ready to go to bed, you close your eyes, okay? And you play back your day. And you ask yourself some type of question like, did I like my day? Yes, no. Why? Because I did this. How did I feel today? I feel like that. Sometimes it's difficult to express some emotion. So if you don't know how to express your emotion, that's okay, because it's also something that happened. But what did I like in my day? What did I not like? It can be I didn't wake up at 6 a.m. when the alarm rang because I was so tired. Okay, do you like that? Do you like being that person? Is that something? What did you do that is inspired you or that is inspiring for you? Sorry, that type of thing. Just look at your day and ask yourself, what did I like? What did I not like? And introspect around your day. Simple question, and define one thing to make the next day better. One small thing. I wake up at 6 a.m. tomorrow, just because I decided to do it. And I think it sounds simple, right? But yet we don't introspect during our day, and we don't introspect very often. And that is the missing part. Tony Robbins said the quality of your life depends on the quality of your question. But I believe that, yeah. So the roadmap would be, first of all, analyze your situation and realize maybe if you're on the right track or not. And second thing is introspect.
Yeah, I guess this is very practical.
Yes, yeah, it's very easy because you cannot say, I don't have time. We all have a time where we close our eyes and we go to bed, right? So it takes 5 minutes. I do it all the time. First of all, it helped me to fall asleep for an unknown reason. I don't know about that. But secondly, it makes me realize a lot of things. Was I a good partner today? Was I a good father today? I was a bit on my email and, okay, but maybe tomorrow I can be better. You would be surprised how you can change your behavior and your action when you want to do better and when you want to get to find more fulfillment. You're not going to find all of your answers and all of the clarity that you're looking for, but definitely that will help.
Yeah. And I guess it's not about finding the answer. It's more about having the courage to ask yourself the questions. This kind of, now you're creating another voice in your head, the one that's going to monitor. And over time, this will start improving your life without even noticing.
Yeah. And, I like the quality and the skills of curiosity. Curiosity is really something that helps you navigate life very differently than someone who's not curious. So if you find yourself not curious about anything anymore, then it's time to introspect and to really be curious about your own life and to start looking for answer. I don't know what I like in life. Then put some time in your calendar to figure out what you like. I don't know what I want with my partner, or I don't know if I want kids, not kids, all of the type of question. I don't know if I like my career. I don't know if I like this company. Then take some time to figure out. That is really a simple step, but that really helps.
if you're just taking time, it doesn't mean you have to take a decision right after the thinking session. You can just think about it, and you keep thinking about it for a month or 2 months or 3 months. Actually, the longer you think about it, the more you are strategizing your plan. You don't have to take a decision to leave your work after you sit with yourself for 2 hours and you are not happy with your career. But just take the time to listen to yourself. Maybe listen to the other voices. Are you really happy? And I guess it's more about happiness. It's more about fulfillment in a way that does what you do make sense to you on the long term.
Completely. It's about inspiration. It's about this fire that is in you. And I work with a lot of top performers and ambitious individuals. They have that fire. It's there, you know. When you started your career, you had that fire. You had that curiosity. You wanted to do so much. You wanted to eat the world and to give your maximum. Then keep that. That's an amazing thing to have. But where is that fire outside your job? You know, how can you have something else than just job? You can do other things outside, and that will bring you so much more fulfillment when you start doing other things and reflecting on yourself.
And I guess that something that adds perfectly to what we're discussing is growth mindset, in a way that this understanding that my own skills or my own attributes is something that can improve over time with deliberate work or with deliberate focus on changing. Like, for example, if I'm looking at my career and I'm not happy with where I am, or because of a certain thing, it doesn't mean that I am fixed with this career forever. I can actually change. I can actually change the behavior that I'm not happy about myself about. I can, like for example, you can move away from being a very aggressive person to a very calm person. Of course, over a long period of time, maybe 5 years or 6 years. But this can happen. But it starts all with this understanding of it can happen. Change can happen. If you put some effort and you believe that you can change, change will happen.
No, I agree with you. What happened in that situation a lot of time is that some people are angry or frustrated, or they like to shout or to control, you know, and that come from the high achiever who is saying you have to act like this because you need to be respected. You need to show, you know, that you're here, for example. And you would be surprised that when you start understanding a bit more your mind and you start reflecting how it can change. But what is preventing people to change a lot of time in that particular situation is that they are sure that if you are kind, you're not going to perform. If you are kind, you cannot make money. Because kind people don't make money. That's what people think,
or worse,
right?
maybe they will believe that if you're kind, people will take advantage out of you.
Exactly. So that is where the mindset work is, for me, fundamental. When I said mindset work, you can do it by yourself or with a professional, it doesn't matter. But being curious again around what is happening in your mind and how can you shift those beliefs? How can you understand yourself better? And it's a trial and error. One day you're kind with someone, kinder with someone, and you try and you see the difference. One day you communicate with your emotion with someone and saying, you know, I respect you, what you just said, it's just hurting me a bit. No one in front of you is going to just shout at you if you communicate that way. So it's just a trial and error. As you mentioned, you don't need to have the decision right now. But we tend to make that big thing in our mind saying, I want to change, and it's quitting my job, living in Mexico and be a freelancer on the beach. You know, we tend to overthink like this. Changes can be small. Can be very tiny changes, but it can really change your life to an amount that you couldn't have think possible before. So I think there is... yes, there is a lack of clarity around what's going on and where I want to be. But I also think that often we are scared of the outcome. We know that we want to change, and we are scared of the outcome. We're scared of seeing our new life and how are we going to manage with this new life. Example, I'm often angry, and I often shout when I talk, and people know me now. They know I'm a kind person, but I talk like this. You know, I heard that many times. They know me, and so that's okay. They accept it. I'm used to that. I'm used to get the respect like this, and people know me. That's fine. But when this person, even if this person wants to be kinder, which is closer to who they are, when they start thinking of being kinder, they're so scared. They're scared of losing the control. They're scared of losing the power, the respect. And so that is what is preventing them. All of this story that they're saying to themselves, like, if I'm a kinder person or if I talk differently, I will lose the power. And that's where the work around mindset and how to perform happier, and I use that a lot, is it's really going to help you to achieve more. Because if you're a leader, if you are a C-suite, if you are a great position and you're managing people, when you come into the room and you inspire others instead of telling them what to do and making them angry and frustrated, if you start inspiring them, be nice, being positive, creating an atmosphere where people are not scared to say, I made a mistake, you would be surprised, one, how people are happy around you, but also how your company is going to perform, how your team is going to perform in that case.
Yeah, true. And I guess it gives very deep fulfillment. I'll tell you, like, there are specific, for example, leaders that I worked with before, and it happened to me, like, hey, I come joined him with his new company because I trust his way of leadership. That's it. He's not perfect by any way, shape, or form. He can be also mad or aggressive at times, but at least we have this kind of value alignment between each other, and I guess that works perfectly fine for me. And I guess the role of a leader is not to tell people, it's not to manage people, it's not to tell people exactly you need to do this or you need to do this or you need to do this, because if this is the truth, it will last you so short, because there is a limit of your knowledge. You have to gain more out of the people that you're working with you.
True.
But leadership is more about empowering people so they can go and actually grow more and faster and be more adaptive with the world changing right now. So yeah, 100%. I totally align with what you're saying.
No, that is very true, and that's the growth mindset that you were mentioning, right? That when you're curious and when you actually want to learn from other people, you're growing, and not only you but people around you. But I understand also that sometimes it can be tricky, sometimes you don't really know how, and that is why it's important for the leaders to understand themselves very well and to be aware of that voice that I'm telling you. And there's many other voices, but to be aware of what is coming in their mind, preventing them. Because I genuinely believe that no one has a very bad intention. It's just that you don't really know how to channel it, or you don't really know how to communicate at that time. So it's more about really understanding yourself and understanding what's going on in your mind, so you can avoid that type of situation where at the end of the day, you're frustrating too. When you are in conflict all day, when you control everything around you, when no one in your team likes you because you have no other choice than pushing them so much, you're not happy neither. Those people are not deeply happy neither. What they want is a team, not everything is beautiful every day, but is a team that supports each other, that grows. And actually, that's one of the main criteria for high-performing teams, the trust, the connection, the common vision. This is very, very important. So, yeah, I agree with you. The way we treat people is what people remember, not the word or the...
Yeah, you touched base while you were discussing, and I want to give more attention to, which is the point of how can I manage my validation? Because a lot of professionals right now, they put a lot of weight under the validation that they receive from their manager or from the corporate. And what will happen, and what I observe always, that once anything change to, for example, a communication with the manager or something with the corporate, you can see that an earthquake happened to him. So what's your thoughts about internal validation versus external validation?
So first of all, internal validation is key for you to avoid what we discussed before, which is every time that there is something happening externally, you're personally touched, and it takes time to recover. Internal validation means internal love. I believe so, at least to a certain degree. And managing the voice that we mentioned before is super important in order to get more self-love. You will find it easier to not look for any external validation when you're at peace with yourself. And that's very broad, that's said a lot, but that is very true. And so to find that peace, you need the clarity. I always say you need 3 types of clarity, which is the clarity of who you are, the clarity of what you want, and the clarity around what is holding you back. Once you have that, there's no need of external validation. Because you give your best, you do whatever you can, you know your worth. You're not trying to impress anyone in the wrong way. It's good to want to impress some people, but you don't need to impress people by showing off or do things like this. So once you have this clarity, which you can get with the night audit, you can get closer at least to that. You will not have that need for validation. And if you still do, I would ask yourself, why is it important for you to get that validation? Why does that matter to you so much? Why do you want your boss to tell you that you're a good person or you did a good job? Why is it important? I'm not saying that it's not normal to validate and to say good job. It's important as leader to say you've done a good job. But if someone is really in pain because he didn't receive a good job, then why does that matter to you? Do you really think that if you don't have that recognition, you're such a bad person? You're not successful? You're not good at what you're doing? Why is that happening? And that's the conversation to have, I think.
Yeah, it 100% worth reflecting about, why I'm so, hurt because I didn't receive the recognition that I wanted to receive. It really helps us to take a step back and see, to understand ourselves better. And I guess it's a big goal to try to understand ourselves better day after day. Now, I love the 3 things that you mentioned regarding clarity. Can you say it again?
I said clarity of who you are, clarity of what you want, and clarity of what is holding you back. So this is actually the whole model that I've built. And after studying for the last 2 years and coaching people, I've built a model called Authentic Performance. And it's around those topics, which means that the basis of your performance, and when I say performance, I'm talking global performance, so professional and personal, always start with who you are. And when I say who you are is what is it that you like, what are your strengths, but also what triggers you. What are you? What type of person are you? What type of environment are you thriving in? And things like this. Once you get that, which is the introspection part, you ask, what is it that you truly want? Okay? And that part is hard because a lot of people know already what they want, but they are so scared of getting for it. And one thing that I have learned is if you want to understand better what you want in life, try to imagine that everything is possible, okay? And try to remove the money out of the equation, okay? And you can ask yourself, okay, where do I see myself in 5 years? And what do I want to do in 5 years? Not thinking about the money. Oh, Lucie, you're crazy. You have to think about the money. And how am I going to do that? And how, still, I always say still. Let's dream for 2 minutes in our life. What do you want to do in 5 years without taking account the money? What would you do? I would love to have a coffee shop where I sell coffee, and also we have cycling, and we attract people who cycle all over the world. Okay, yeah, but I can't because I have a kid, and then I need money, and and it's impossible to build that, and we need a capital, and that is all of the fears coming in and saying no, don't do that. So when you want that clarity around what is it that you truly want, you need to be very aware of those voices that are coming to your mind and the fear and saying, yeah, I know I'm scared because I want stability. One of my human needs is certainty, so that's really difficult for me. All of this knowledge around yourself is actually what will make you successful in life and in business. Because the more you know yourself, the more you're going to manage anything. So once you know that, you will get the clarity around what you want. When you know what you want, you build your plan, and then you get the clarity around what is holding you back. Okay, now I know I want to build my business. I know I'm scared because I have kids. I need to provide for education. So I need to find a solution. What is coming my way, preventing me from even trying to find a solution? Because sometimes we just stop even before trying. No, it's not possible. I need 50,000 in capital. It's not possible. So I just stop. But there's 1,000 ways to get 50,000 in capital. There are 1,000 ways to do that. And there's a lot of people who have built their business with kids and they were successful. So it's really understanding what are those fears and how to overcome them.
What you're saying is so deep. I keep thinking about a lot of things out of it. So I'll tell you something. So right now you're talking about understanding who you are and then thinking about what you want to achieve 5 years from now. If money was not an object, like removing money out of the equation and think freely about it for 10 minutes or so. Like, does it have to be connected? Like when you take your clients into this journey, does it have to be connected with a bigger mission? Like, for example, to their life mission and all of that? Like, for example, I was thinking about not just the next 5 years, but what I really want after all of this working and after, like, why I'm working all of this. Maybe because I want to support to my family. I want to provide for my family and people who are responsible for that. I have responsibility toward. And maybe I want to do this because I want to prove something. Maybe I want to do this because I want to make some people proud. All of this package, is this connected to understanding what is your next step?
I see what you mean. Sometimes when we talk about mission or purpose, we tend to think that we need goals and objectives that will contribute to something that has a bigger impact. And it's very scary because it means that, oh my God, I didn't find it yet. And I don't have a purpose. I don't see how I can make an impact and I can help people. And, I think it's very scary to imagine your future with this mission. So I do not, at least with my clients, we don't focus on that at all, because I believe that your purpose and your mission will come by taking a set of action towards something that you like, something that you have an attraction. And so at some point, you will make it a purpose and a mission. For example, when I started coaching, my purpose wasn't to change the life of people. By the way, when we talk about purpose, it's never something that is related to someone else. So I'll try to be clear.
Yeah.
Purpose, when you're looking for your purpose, a lot of time we say, oh, I love doing coaching because I love helping people. That is not true. You don't wake up in the morning because you like helping people. You wake up in the morning because helping people makes something to you. And why does that matter? What is it that matters? If I'll give you an example of myself, when I was younger, I was surrounded with people who didn't really live the life that they wanted to live, my parents. Very different characters. They didn't do, my dad was an adventurer, my mom was very settled, and so they have different dreams, and they both compromised for a family or for society, maybe mold, I don't know. But I knew that they were not happy. And so that might have worked on me, and I know today that if I wake up every morning, it's because I want to live a life that matters to me. And as we said before, I looked at my life in the future and I say, did I like my life? And for me, that is very important to me. So my purpose is to do that. And the outcome of it is that I am now helping people to do the same. And that's amazing. And that's beautiful. And that makes me happy. So when we think about purpose, I think there is this big thing saying, oh, I need something that will have such a big impact. And I don't think that is the correct question. The first question is around what is something that you would like to do every day, and that is easy for you to do. Where are your interests? And when you are in corporate, you can ask yourself, what is the number one task, the task that I do every day that I could do all the time? What is the thing in my job that I really like? Is it talking with people at the coffee machine? Is it dealing with customers? Is it creating reporting on Excel? Is it creating an advertising on Canva? Or I don't know what other tool. I don't know if we have to say brands or not brands. But, those are the questions that we need to ask before the purpose. Because once you have that and you start taking action and saying, oh, I actually love being with clients, maybe I shift a bit my career and talk with more people, you're going to experience things. But your purpose cannot come from your head. It will come from your heart. And so if it comes from your heart, it has to be experienced. And how do we experience? By taking action and doing things. So I think it's very difficult to have the mission of finding your purpose. I prefer the mission of finding myself, and then I'll find my purpose on the way.
Yeah, finding yourself first. And I guess it's as if we're using an analogy from finance, as if you're building the financial model, not from the top down, you're building it from bottom up.
Yeah, exactly.
In a way, is that you try to let's figure out the first step, second step, and then the picture will complete by itself.
Completely.
Yeah.
It's step by step without the pressure. But often we have that pressure. No, it's not fast enough. You need to find it. You need to find it fast. This is, again, the voice that we were talking about. So understanding what's going on in your mind and take it step by step is the way to go, definitely.
Okay. Now I want to know more about your club, the Rich and Happy Club. Yeah.
Yes.
Tell me more about it.
The Rich and Happy Club, yeah, it makes smile a lot of people, but it's such a great place to be. So the Rich and Happy Club is an immersive personal growth club, which means that every member of the club will be assigned to a cohort from 7 to 10 person. Okay, within that cohort, we're going to grow together. We're going to understand ourselves within a community that has the same challenge. And so that's why I always say this is for ambitious people who don't settle for the standard win. We want to win both in professional life and in personal life. And that is very targeted to that. So the cohort is full of ambitious people who understand that they have this thirst for ambition, but at the same time who want to grow personally. So we do online session. We also do immersive seminars. So I'm working with a company to do immersive seminars. So no more sitting on a chair and looking at the presentation, but living it. And that has been studied a lot on how moving and experiencing things can really make a deeper transformation. And at the same time, I'm the coach of each individual in the group. So we also have one-on-one session. I mentioned before, I think I'm certified in mindset, and I'm the only coach in the Middle East to have the Mindset Factor Index certification and license. So we can measure your mindset before and after. So we measure your mindset before you join the club and after you join the club. I do that with all my clients, even for individuals. That really shows us how much you grow, and it's measurable. So not only you feel it, but you can also see it. And that's the goal of the club. I really want people to experience a transformation. It's 1-year membership, and it has been transformative so far.
Awesome. And how can people join you on the club?
So I have a LinkedIn profile where they can join the club. They can also contact me directly. I'm also doing a conference very soon on the topic on LinkedIn, where people can join, can see what I'm talking about, and how do we process in order to be rich and happy. And then they can join from there.
Perfect. So I will add the link of your LinkedIn in the description of this video so people can reach out to you.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Lucie. It was a nice one. I wanted to. I didn't feel of the hour at all. I wanted to talk more about you, but I guess we reached the limit of our time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gamal.
Thank you.
Reach for growth, reach for more. Performance marketing hardcore. Tune in, listen, hear the Lord. Reach for growth, we explore.